Well, here we are in the second part of our 5-point series in the absolutely fundamental requirements to start your entrepreneurial journey. The first one we talked about is you have to muster as many resources as possible. And hopefully one of those on your list is that you have a market for your product. And if you don't have a market for your product, then you're going to have to create one, which is possible. It just takes more money and more time. So now on to the second fundamental requirement, and that is you must have a high quality, profitable product. And you may be thinking, well, of course you have to have a profitable product. You'd be surprised how many entrepreneurs fall into this trap. And they fall into the trap of time and material. Here's the cost of my materials, the cost of my time, put it on top of that, mark it up 10, 15%, and I'll be good to go. And that is a huge trap because they miss so much, and they have to learn the hard way when they find out that when they sell their product, they're actually losing money. So let's start at the very beginning. First of all, you want to make sure you have a quality product. And it has to be superior quality than all your competition so you can differentiate your competition, differentiate yourself from your competition. So no matter what your product, if it's not a high quality product, then the best sales team in the world isn't going to be able to save you. The second part is you have to know all your variable costs and all your fixed costs. And then what goes on top of that is your profit, your reward for bringing value and benefits to your customer. Now, real quick example, everybody's probably been in automobile repair shop, and you'll see somewhere in the shop, you'll see their shop rate posted. And that shop rate is what they're going to charge you per hour over all their other expenses that they've calculated and figured out. And that's what I like to call the money to feed the beast. And that is, the beast is whatever your entity is, your corporation, your partnership, your sole proprietorship. You've got to feed that beast. So, another typical example would be, let's say it costs $5 to make your widget. You want to sell it for a minimum of $25. And you may say, wow, that's a lot. Actually, it's a minimum because you have to have margin in there for your distributors, margin in there for you to negotiate a discount, margin in there for storage, inventory, anything that spoils that you have to throw away. All that has to be covered in your margin. And each industry has its own margin. You take the retail industry, something like a grocery, very small margins. Maybe something like a custom fab shop, like I used to own, where you had one-off to customer prints, that had a larger margin because each one was one-off, and there was no really any advantage to take advantage of the economies of scale. So please keep in mind that whatever margin you come up with the first time around is probably not going to be big enough. So keep reviewing it, list all your costs, all your fixed variables, all your expenses, and then figure out what the market will bear and take full advantage of what the market will bear. Stay away from following your competition, because who says they're doing the right thing? Do your own homework. Find out what the market will bear. Mark up your products accordingly. Make sure they're quality products, and avoid getting into a race to the bottom where you're racing with your competition, sacrificing your quality, until finally no one wants to buy your products because they're not of quality anymore. So that's number 2 out of the 5. Quick review: muster all your resources, have a high quality, profitable product. You want to be able to have repeatability. You want to be able to automate that so you can take advantage of the economies of scale, and it has to be sustainable. So that's the end of part 2. This is Jim Sindoma. I hope you enjoyed the view behind me. We are on the Montero trails outside of the Pittsburgh office. And like, subscribe, apply these principles, saving yourself time and money.